Welcome to episode 9 of Lakeshore Christian Church's Midweek podcast. I'm Pastor Randy Cordell. We're coming to you live from our studio at our Antioch campus here in beautiful Nashville, Tennessee. Each week on the podcast, we talk about all things Lakeshore. On a regular basis, we're going to be interviewing guests that we might bring in and occasionally have a guest host as well. I want to encourage you, if you haven't done so already, to subscribe to the podcast. Invite others to do so. You might want to hit that notification bell as well so you get reminded notifications anytime we post one. If you miss it live, we'll be live every Wednesday at noon, but if you miss it live, they're archived on our YouTube channel and other podcast platforms. So we encourage you to go back and listen, even if you missed it live. Today, I want to take some time to introduce you to our message series that is going to be coming up here at Lakeshore starting this Sunday, August the 7th. The series is called Stressed Out. I don't know if any of you can relate just to the title. I know a lot of people, surveys are showing that especially because of the pandemic and other things that have been going on in the country and around the world, people seem to be feeling more stressed out than ever before. So I think the series is very timely. Yesterday I did a post asking viewers to tell me what they thought were the 4 main areas of stress that people are dealing with in our culture today. And a couple of people got at least 2 of them right that surveys are showing are the most common ones. A couple of people said financial stress or work or career stress. And that's true. During the pandemic especially, it seems like finances were, of course, very stressful, but a lot of people during the pandemic have changed careers, changed jobs, left one place or gone to another. And anytime you have a lot of change like that, there is stress connected to it. But the surveys are showing there are a couple of other areas of major stress as well. One was relationship stress. I know probably some of you can relate to that. Maybe things going on with friendships, marriages, girlfriend, boyfriend, that type of thing, where there's stress within the relationships. But the number one area of stress that surveys have been showing recently has been holding steady in the top 3 for a long time, and that is the stress that comes with time, schedule, running all the time, trying to keep up with things that you're having to deal with, especially families with children and when they're involved in activities too, but it can be for an individual as well, depending on how full your schedule is right now. Anytime you're feeling like you're running behind or can't keep up, it adds so much weight of stress to your life. So we're going to begin with that this Sunday, talking about the time stress issue. The whole theme for the series is found from Luke chapter 21 and verse 34. It says this: Jesus is talking about the last days, and he says, be careful, or your hearts will be weighed down with carousing, drunkenness, and the anxieties of life, and that day will close on you suddenly like a trap. He says the stress will build up in your life if you're not careful. He's saying, anytime Jesus says be careful, what should we do? You better be careful when he tells you to. He's saying be careful that your hearts don't get weighed down. That's the idea of stress. You're feeling weighed down with things. And he gives us some categories here of stress. He says, be careful that your hearts aren't weighed down with carousing. And that word in the NIV translated carousing just means all the activities we fill our lives with, especially the social activities. We tend to pack our schedules pretty full because we've got work already. We've got time to sleep. We've got eating. We've got the regular things you have to do every day. And when you add to that the fun activities you want to pack into your life, the more of those things you say yes to, the more stress you feel. But then he says drunkenness, and drunkenness is kind of a general word as well in Scripture to mean not just alcohol, though it certainly involves that. It means all the ways we medicate our lives because of the stress that we're feeling. And there's so many different ways we do that. Alcohol is one of those things. Other drugs can be that, but we medicate in a lot of other ways as well. And it's because we're responding to the stress that we're feeling. Sometimes it's prescription drugs, other things that we're taking or doing to try to medicate what we're feeling with the stress. And then he says the anxieties of life. And of course, that's a general category for all those things that you feel like are weighing on you right now. It says that day will close on you suddenly like a trap. What happens with stress is there is this effect of it building up over time. And a little bit every day doesn't feel too bad. You can manage it. You can deal with it. I always love it when doctors tell you, well, you got too much stress in your life. You need to eliminate stress. Nobody can eliminate all the stress. It's impossible to do that. But what the danger point with stress is this, is it begins to build up. And it's so gradual sometimes you don't even realize it's happening. But our bodies respond to it. And when it gets to be too much for our bodies, it can close on you like a trap. There can be a physical response, an emotional response, where there's a shutting down sometimes of the body or sometimes of the mind and the emotions. It just gets overwhelming. And you've probably had friends or family members that have sometimes been overwhelmed, overcome by the stress in their lives. It can cause physical ailments. It can lead to strokes and heart attacks. And certainly emotional problems can be a result of the stress that we're dealing with. And that's why I'm so glad we're going to take time to go through this series. I'm reminded in the Old Testament of something that Job said, and maybe you can relate to this. Job was dealing with a lot of stress in his life. But in verse 25, he says this about his days, his life. He says, "My days are swifter than a runner. They fly away without a glimpse of joy." See, stress will rob you of joy. The days will go by one after another after another. You're just dealing with the stress, trying to keep up with the schedules and the activities, and you're not enjoying your life anymore. And a lot of people are at that place right now where the joy is being stolen from your life because of the stress. So I really want to encourage you to come and be a part of this series. Come and attend in person if you can. If you're in the Nashville area, you could come to either one of our campuses, the Antioch or the Smyrna campus. You'll hear the same message at both campuses. And you'll learn each week not just this idea that you can just eliminate stress. We're going to be honest about this. We're all going to have stress to deal with, but the scriptures give us guidelines on how to best do that. I saw this meme the other day as I was thinking about doing this podcast. It said, if someone you know is stressed out, be sure to tell them they need to relax. You'd be surprised how many people hadn't thought of that. Of course, it's easy to say, well, just relax. You shouldn't be so stressed, but it takes more than that, doesn't it? There's no easy answer to this, but there are steps scripturally. And we're going to start with the first week, this coming Sunday, looking at how, with the time that we all have the same amount of time. How can we best manage our time to eliminate the heavy load of stress that we're dealing with? Here's what I know. You have a Savior who loves you, who wants to come alongside you, and who wants to take that burden off of you so that you can start experiencing the joy in your life that He designed your life to have. We want you to have that too. So join us. If you can't be here in person, of course, we do live stream our services at 9 o'clock on Sunday mornings. We would encourage you to tune in online. But if you can possibly come to the campuses, we'd love to see you here. And you'll grow, you'll learn, we'll grow together as we learn to manage the stress in our lives. I also want to take some time today to update you. We've got some exciting activities and programs coming up at Lakeshore. I want to begin by thanking everyone who donated gift cards to help out with back-to-school expenses that families are facing right now. We partnered with Youth for Christ here in Nashville and also with Smyrna Elementary School because they identified some needs with families and teachers, and we were able to help out in a big way. So thank you for your generosity, the donations that you made there. I also want to thank our volunteers that stepped up to help out with the Smyrna Elementary School block party that took place yesterday. We had some great volunteers come and help out with that. And then before that, we had volunteers that helped out with the Southeast Community Day. We had a booth there. Our volunteers at Lakeshore are great. Thank you so much. We can always count on you and call on you, and you step up and do what needs to be done. Which reminds me, this is the last day to register for the the summer celebration that we're having out at Camp YI in Laverne. We're bringing both campuses together. It's going to be a fun time. There'll be activities for the whole family, swimming and water slide, fishing, indoor and outdoor games, and a campfire devotion to end the day. Make sure you get registered today. We need to get a good count of how many to plan for. We're going to have dinner there at the dining hall at the camp, and we want to know how many to plan for all of that. So make sure you get that done. But in addition to that, we're going to need a few extra volunteers, especially who might be able to be there when we finish things up. We'll be done by the 8 o'clock time Saturday evening, this Saturday, August the 6th. We'll start at 2. We'll finish up at 8. We need a few people to stay around at the end and just help us clean up and put things back where they need to be. We're renting this camp from Camp YI, and we want to leave it better than we found it. So just a few extra hands, a few extra volunteers, along with our staff that will be there, we can all do a good job of making sure we leave that camp in really good shape. Just plan on being there. Let us know when you get there if you could stay a few minutes at the end, and we'll count on you to help us out with that. If you're new to Lakeshore, we've got something coming up for you too. We've got a welcome lunch coming up on Sunday, August the 21st. It'll be at both campuses. Lunch is going to be provided. Child care is available, but we want you to register in advance for that. We'll provide the lunch for free. Child care won't cost you anything. It's a great time to learn more about Lakeshore, get to meet some of the staff, ask any questions that you might have. That'll be Sunday, August the 21st. At the Smyrna campus, it'll be after their 10 o'clock service. At the Antioch campus, it'll be after the 11 o'clock service. So please go ahead and register for that in advance as well. We just got word today that registrations have opened up for retreats coming up out at White Mills Christian Camp. The ladies' retreat is going to be September the 16th and 17th. The men's retreat is going to be September the 23rd through 24th. You need to register in advance for those, of course, and you register through the campsite. We'll have a link for that for you where you could do it here at Lakeshore, or you could do it off of our website when we get that ready for you. But their registrations are open right now, so you could go ahead and register for that. We're going to coordinate groups going together out for those retreats. So we'll get that information to you as soon as we see how many we've got registered, how many are planning to go. We can coordinate rides together and things like that. Both of those retreats are always very well done, and I would encourage you, if those dates would work for you, to get registered for and attend either the ladies' retreat or the men's retreat. At Lakeshore, we try to serve the community as much as we possibly can, and one of the ways we're doing that is we're going to be hosting another Red Cross blood drive. It's scheduled for September the 20th. That registration is already set up as well through the Red Cross site, where you can sign up to pick a time where you want to schedule to come in and give blood. This is a critical time for a blood drive. They always, during the summer months, start depleting that supply big time because not as many people are donating during the summer months. So they really need to catch up a lot in September. So if you are able to give blood and willing to do that, please go ahead and get signed up through the Red Cross blood drive site. And that's for September the 20th. That will be at our Antioch campus that day. And we're happy to serve our community in that way by hosting a blood drive. Lots of good things are always going on here at Lakeshore. We encourage you to follow us on social media. We encourage you to go to our website often. It's lakeshorechristian.com. We always post the things there, keep everything up to date, and have registrations available there. We also have kiosks at both campuses where if you're needing to register for something, they're out in the lobby area, you can always go there. Go to that kiosk. If you need some help, just let us know. We can get you registered, signed up for things you need to sign up for right there. We encourage you to invite family, friends, coworkers, and join us here at Lakeshore Christian Church as we continue to connect, grow, and serve. We'd love to see you at either campus this Sunday. Thank you for joining us today.